I think going to seminary was, I mean, I never forget, I mean, Andover Newton in those days had a little brochure and it says, "Is God keeping you awake at night?" And I said, "Damn, yeah." So, so, so that's sort of, so I started into seminary and then I noticed that in seminary, nobody was talking about the earth. No, nobody was talking about those things that were really, really important to me. And so that's when I started struggling to get, putting together the ecology ministry and stuff like that. So so I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't go to seminary for the reason, you know, to make my work in this better. I mean, that wasn't conscious of my point, is what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Right.
I think what's really hard now, and I think this is what you're really asking me, is when you are in the context with scientists or when you're in the context with people of faith, how do they take you, for instance? Okay. And my experience has been that the people of faith have an easier time accepting and understanding and struggling, whatever, with the science than the scientists do with the faith.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I know Mary Evelyn and I have talked about this a lot, and I think she's seen the same thing. I mean, so when I've been involved with the forum and have been at Yale and talking to people back and forth, and the divinity students don't have any problem. They accept the science. I mean, understand that the people that are involved with something like this are not deists to the point of, God controls everything. It's not, I mean, it's yeah, okay. I guess
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is there's a fairly progressive group,
Hmm.
theologically progressive group of people that are dealing with these questions, okay? And they have no problem with the science at all. I mean, the science is a science. And God is involved there, at least that's the way I feel about it, okay? The scientists often are, I'm not going to use the word frightened, but crossing that threshold into faith is harder for them because there has been such I think, a pushback over centuries probably, that there's been some sort of a conflict, and so they don't dare. I probably am making very broad generalizations, but I would say that I think you asked me about sort of working in one or the other, and I would just say that I think there's a difference. I think it's an easier time for the people of faith to walk over the bridge, so to speak, than it is for some of the scientists, not all of them, but some of them.
Hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
whether other people have found that, but that's my experience, I would say.
Yeah. That's really
But I
interesting.
love, I have a quote in my book from Teilhard de Chardin that I love, and that
Hmm.
is, less and less do I feel a difference between research and adoration.
Hmm.
I just
Hmm.
kind of says it all to me. Kind of says it all to me, you know.
Wait, so can you draw out one sentence of what
Well,
it?
just because I think I imagine Teilhard de Chardin, doing his research and being moved
Mm.
by the Spirit of God,
Mm.
seeing what he's seeing. And I love that. And that's
Yeah.
certainly what I mean, when I go out, just came back from a walk, and the hepatica, which is a very early flower that's flowering here, and that comes up
Yeah.
right there, comes up again, and
Hmm.
is I know the leaves are there over the winter, which means that it gets a jump on the springtime because it's doing getting its chlorophyll together and stuff like that much earlier than most things. That I look at it,
Yeah.
blows my mind,
Yeah.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, adoration, and that would be to me adoration of the complexity of
Hmm.
of the universe, and